Today, there is a silent crisis spreading through our youth. From every corner TV, social media, even some classrooms, they are being exposed to ideas that glorify pleasure and instant gratification, especially around sex. The instinct for self-control, once honored and respected, is now mocked or dismissed as old-fashioned. But behind this wave of so-called freedom lies a growing storm of mental illness, broken families, addiction, and spiritual emptiness. On one side, raw animalistic urges pull the young toward reckless pleasure. On the other, a permissive society encourages them to indulge every desire. Adding to the confusion, some scientists claim that controlling sexual urges is harmful to health. And disturbingly, some spiritual teachers have twisted this message even further, claiming that sex is a shortcut to higher consciousness. But not all psychologists agreed. Great minds like Carl Jung and Alfred Adler broke away from Freud, calling his ideas shallow and dangerous. By mastering our senses, we rise above the body and mind and awaken our highest potential. Through celibacy and restraint, ordinary men became saints and sages, beacons of light for the whole world. Jung, in particular, saw that humans have a deeper nature, a mystical, spiritual side that grows only through discipline, not indulgence. They speak of sex to superconsciousness, a phrase that sounds deep but has no foundation in reality. If we don't take a stand, our youth will be led down a path of depression, disease, and despair. The time has come to rise, not with hate, but with wisdom, with love, with clarity. Let's share this message. Let's plant seeds of strength in the hearts of the next generation, so that instead of becoming slaves to desire, they rise to become masters of their own soul. Not one person has ever reached enlightenment by chasing pleasure. In fact, many who tried ended up mentally disturbed, broken, and lost. What was once sacred is now being commercialized and corrupted. This is not just a cultural shift, it is a moral collapse. The Western world followed the path of Sigmund Freud, who claimed that desire, especially sexual desire, was the core of all human motivation. He believed infants felt lust at the mother's breast, and that boys wished to replace their fathers. These ideas are not just wrong, they are dangerous. And that true joy comes not from losing yourself in desire, but by mastering it. No child has such thoughts. Even animals wait until maturity before engaging in sex. How can an innocent child, unaware of sexuality, have these cravings? It's nonsense. And yet, these ideas are now taught, normalized, and even glorified in media. His theory, rooted in his own personal obsessions, taught people to act on every impulse in the name of mental health. Despite having just 4% of the world's population, the United States consumes 40% of the world's material resources, yet their prisons are overflowing. One rape is reported every 6 seconds, one burglary every 10 seconds. This isn't caused by poverty, it's the outcome of uncontrolled desires. Society that embraces every urge without discipline ends up drowning in its own unrest. But did it lead to peace? No. Instead, it led to inner chaos. In cities like New York, studies showed that 80% of adults displayed signs of mental illness. Crime rose, divorce rates exploded. Teenage pregnancy became a national crisis. Let's look at the numbers. And what about relationships? In a culture that promotes free sex, many experience multiple partners before marriage. Later, they compare their married life with past pleasures. When they feel unfulfilled, they file for divorce. Nearly 65% of marriages in the U.S. end this way. The sacred bond of family is shattered. Children grow up confused, disconnected, and often angry. Even worse, sexually transmitted diseases like AIDS continue to spread like wildfire. And still, no one talks about the real root cause, the absence of self-restraint. Freud's theories became so popular that they were treated like truth. Indian psychology has always known this. Ancient sages like Patanjali taught that true power comes from self-control. But today, even in India, some so-called gurus are preaching Freud's message in spiritual disguise. Let's not forget Freud even claimed that children have sexual feelings toward their parents. It's time we wake up. Multinational media channels are spreading these poisonous ideas into every household. We must speak the truth, that self-control is not suppression, it's transformation. That celibacy is not weakness, it's strength. That spiritual growth begins where indulgence ends. If we want to protect our families, our communities, and our future, we must reclaim the forgotten values of chastity, restraint, and dignity.